everyone. My name is Anna Mayo. I'm the Vice President of the Nielsen IQ Beauty Vertical, and welcome to the next episode of Nielsen IQ's Founder Series. This episode will dive into the many facets of launching a beauty brand, from perfecting the formulation to ingredients to securing a meeting with retailers and ultimately getting on the shelf and to scale. Each episode I host shines a light on the challenges and successes of a startup beauty brand in an ever-growing and complex industry. So let's get started. Joining me today to share her story is Sandra Statz, founder and CEO of A.P. CHEM. Welcome, Sandra.
Hi, thanks for having me.
We're thrilled that you're here. So I discovered your brand recently this summer. We met at Cosmoprof conference, as many great relationships start. But you have such an interesting story, so I'd love for you to share with everyone how you got started in the beauty industry, your background, and really what led you to the founding of your brand.
So I'm Sandra Statz, founder and CEO of A.P. CHEM. My co-founder, who couldn't be with us today, he's co-founder and chief science officer. And the reason why he couldn't be with us today is because he is a leading New York City dermatologist and has a multi physician practice called Tribeca Skin Center and has had for the last 20 plus years. We share a love of science, skin science, obviously. And what I immediately loved about how his approach to skincare is holistic. And that's very much a part of our brand together.
Great. And you grew up in the beauty industry, correct?
Yes, I've been in the beauty industry for 15 plus years. I've worked at legacy brands and heritage brands like La Mer and Clinique to indie brands like Sol de Janeiro.
Great. And even after being there, you still wanted to take the leap to start your own brand. What inspired you to want to do this on your own and do this, in a new and different way than the brands that you'd worked for and seen in the past?
I don't claim to know anything better than anybody else. It's something that I always wanted to do. I also respected that I had a lot to learn as I worked in this industry. And that's why I feel really, really grateful for the experience that I've had working for small brands, big brands, across categories, from everything from color cosmetics to skincare to hair care. I had enough courage at that point and experience to start something on my own. And I always wanted to develop a skincare brand specifically because that's what I love the most.
Yeah, it's so interesting when many of the founders that we speak to, some have experience in the industry, others don't. What do you feel like were the biggest advantages to you in launching your own brand, having already worked on other beauty brands?
We're perfect partners. He brings the science to the table. Not to say that I don't have some of the science knowledge, but I would say a lot of mine comes from having worked in the industry so long and having had the amazing opportunity to work with R&D teams at LVMH and Estee Lauder companies and understanding consumer insights. And that's, I think, where we balance each other out.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So let's talk about the brand. Can you talk about what makes A.P. CHEM different? What's unique about your brand? Because you're bringing a lot of interesting things to the market that I think our listeners would love to hear about.
Thank you. We, based on our backgrounds, we definitely wanted to develop a skincare brand together, and we definitely wanted it to be science forward. One of the first things he and I said when we put our heads together and said, let's do something together, was, can scientific skincare be fun again? We believe we can bring scientific skincare to the market with personality. Let's make science forward skincare that's fun, specifically for Gen X and Centennial customers that are otherwise overlooked from our point of view when it comes to the tone of voice you use, who you show in your marketing campaigns, as well as let's not charge them a fortune.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I really love about your brand is the names of your products, the packaging, how it all works together. Would you talk us through how those decisions were made and how you really ended up going down the route that you went?
Sure. So when we really honed in on what we identified as strong points of difference for us as a brand, the target customer being Gen X and Zennials, the price point, wanting to have a brand personality, both verbal and visual, that was scientific, authoritative, still witty and playful. What we thought about was nostalgia. So, for example, the brand name APChem, it stands for Advanced Placement Chemistry, and I think most of our target customer, age-wise, is familiar with that, whether it's AP Chem, AP Calculus, whatever it is. But a name is also a moniker. So if people don't get what AP Chem stands for, that's okay, because with the logo that we chose, we wanted it to also have the same sense of scientific feel, but also have that sense of nostalgia. So we ended up going with using a logo that's inspired by the old school label makers that you used to punch out like this. And people can't always, put their finger on exactly what it is, but they see the logo and it takes them back someplace. And that's what we want.
Yeah, no, it's so important. Another area that your brand really leans in on, which I think is really unique, is you're a very outspoken ally for the LGBT community. So why is that important to your brand? How does it help shape the decisions that you're making in marketing your brand and how you communicate with your customers?
Sherwin and I are both members of the BIPOC community. Sherwin's a member of the LGBTQIA plus community. Obviously, we're women founded and run. What we often say is our brand values reflect our personal values. And a large part of that is embracing the communities that we're parts of.
Yeah, yeah, it's so important. I love that you are really making a stand and standing behind what your brand believes in. I think that's what consumers are looking for. So let's talk a little bit about your retail strategy now. I know it's a big decision when founders launch brands is really, well, how are we going to get it out to consumers? And you focus on a DTC strategy, right? So direct to consumer through your own website. So can you share a little bit about how you made that decision and why that form of distribution was right for you?
We had a sense that we were being quite bold with our DEI values, as well as the mission behind the brand, which is certainly about mental and physical health and wellness. It's also a bit disruptive. But going D2C allows you to be the steward of your own brand and share the messaging and the brand values in the way that you intend. When you partner with a retailer, it's not that there are compromises to be made, certainly there are, but when you're launching a brand, from my point of view, that has so much to say and so much of it might come across as a bit different or disruptive, I think it's best that you share your intentions fully and the way that you want to.
Makes sense. Would you like to share a little bit more about the mission behind the brand? We haven't spoken about that in detail yet.
Some people pick up from the brand name, some people don't. The mission behind the brand is based on my health journey. I was diagnosed with an autoimmune and inflammatory condition, and it ultimately led me to my discovery of, and now personal as well as professional advocacy for psychedelic medicine. So product names like ayahuasca and lightning eye treatment and microdose magical moisturizer, they're an homage to my personal breakthrough with psychedelic medicine, my respect for it and my advocacy for it.
It's a very interesting story. So I encourage everyone to read a little bit more about it if they have time and interest. What other type of advice would you give to any new founder or someone who might be thinking about founding a brand? Anything you've learned through your journey that you think would help others?
Staying true to what you believe in. It's so difficult, as you know, in talking to so many founders with this series. And I don't, when I say staying true to what you believe in, it's not about being stubborn. You have to take risks and you have to believe in what you stand for. If you feel really good about it, stick with it. So I would say, to answer your question, stay true to your brand identity, stay true to your beliefs, and invest in what you believe makes most sense for you based on those things. So for us, a big component of that is investing in our formulas. All of our formulas are completely customized. We have proprietary complexes in our formulas, and we spent a lot of time finding really unique ingredients that I don't think a lot of other skincare brands use, and we don't use them for the sake of using them to be different. We discovered them ourselves out of our own sense of curiosity as skin nerds.
What are some of those ingredients? I know ingredients is a huge conversation in beauty. So, are you willing to share some of what you're using?
Absolutely. We talk about with our focus on the mind body connection when it comes to the mission behind the brand inspired by my health journey, and both mine and Dr. Sherwin's passion for skin science, just our curiosity. We use neuropeptides, nootropics, and adaptogens that you typically only find in supplements, or maybe they're in food, and they have mood enhancing benefits. They're usually mood enhancers. We use them in our formulas not as mood enhancers, but they have similar uplifting, calming benefits for skin health, and they're clinically proven.
So, as we're kind of wrap up here, let's just a couple fun questions at the end. So, what's your favorite product from your line?
Ayahuasca is my favorite because I've really honed in on the texture. And we also made sure that it wouldn't travel into skin. So it's got this nice gel balm texture. So it really nourishes the skin, but it doesn't move, it doesn't glide or slide.
Mm. Yeah, it's fascinating listening to you describe these products and hearing all the science behind them. So you can tell all the research and expertise that's gone into the development, which is it's very impressive.
Thank you.
All right, so we'll wrap up. One final question. What's next for the brand? What are you looking at for the rest of the year and 2024?
Well, we're entering holiday season. Actually, some people are already in holiday season. So we have a holiday set coming out. We're really excited.
Ooh, I love
Welcome
that.
to Dermaverse. So, we're less than a year out of launch, which is it's crazy to me. I'm so I'm so personally proud and amazed at what we've been able to accomplish less than a year old as a brand. So for us, when it comes to what's new in terms of product innovation, we're still focusing on our heroes, the existing products that we launched with, and continuing to introduce them to new customers. In the new year, though, there may be more to come.
We'll be watching out for that. This has been another episode of our NIQ Founders Series, where we deep dive with some of the most innovative brands and founders to unpack how brands launch and grow in the CPG space. This video is brought to you by Nielsen IQ, where we're revolutionizing the CPG industry and democratizing data and analytics for emerging brands. To learn more, check out niq.com/Byzer, BYZZER. And for all you beauty enthusiasts, ensure you check out our Beauty Hub for the latest insights, trends, and sign up for our newsletter. You can also scan the QR code to join the Beauty Inner Circle, where you can access on-demand beauty reports and insights driven by Nielsen IQ's leading data and insights. Thanks again for joining us today, and stay well.